Alright, so today's video doesn't get any better. I'm driving a 1951 Fleetline and my buddy Matt is driving his 1949 Fleetline. Actually, both of these cars are his, and today we're doing a video, so he let me pick which one I was gonna drive to the place where we're gonna be filming at, and then on our way back we're gonna be switching and I'm gonna be driving the 49. Love the backfire, man. Listen, I really want to do this to my car, and I'm so glad that Matt is letting me drive his 51 Chevy. This is a car that he just got a week ago, and he's letting me drive it. Matt, thank you so much, man. I really enjoy making these videos. Guys, give it a like, follow Matt on social media. I'm going to be putting his Instagram name. Eventually, right, he's going to be selling one of these cars. So stay tuned, hit him up, save his contact info, because who knows, you might be the owner of one of these Fleetlines. I'm stoked, I'm being honest with you guys. 1951 Fleetline and 1949 Fleetline. So you saw me cruising in the 1951 Chevy Fleetline that belongs to my buddy Matt. He also has the 49 Fleetline over here. Matt, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to film your cars, man. Thank you so much for your time. That's something that I always like to say at the beginning of the video. Tell me a little bit about your background, where you're from. And
I grew up in Southern California, right in the mecca of lowriding. I was blessed to learn at a very young age the right way to lowride, right? I started off, believe it or not, I had an ex-girlfriend when I was 14 years old, and her uncle had a 1947 Chevy Fleetline sitting in the backyard, and I fell in love. I fell in love from that point. I got my first lowrider at 16 in high school. I had a 1964 Chevy, but I always loved bombs, and then from there it kind of escalated. I sold the 64, and then I got a 53, so on and so forth. I moved out to Miami about 13 years ago, so 2009. I left cars behind for a while. I sold my 53. Something was missing, you know. It's when you don't have one, you don't feel whole. When you love the cars, so on and so forth. So about a year ago, I started searching. I got lucky. I found a beautiful old man, a beautiful 1952 Chevy hardtop. Loved the car. It was all in primer, real old school type lowrider. It was slammed on white walls. It was real fun. Beautiful car. A guy in Belgium, believe it or not, decided to give me an offer I couldn't refuse, and that escalated. Got a 63 Impala. Wasn't my thing. Needed to get back into a bomb, and believe it or not, that's when I found the 49. Funny story about this car. It wasn't even for sale. It was on one of my forums that I follow on Facebook, and an older gentleman posted it that he had just pretty much inherited it from a family member. So technically I bought this car off the original family, and I'm actually the third owner. It stayed in that family since it was bought new. It went from the father, actually this gives you a little history here. It went from the father, right, to the son, and then it went to this gentleman's wife's uncle. So unfortunately the original owner passed away, the son passed away, and then it ended up going to his wife's uncle. So he wasn't selling the car, he was just showing it off. I became friends with him. I loved it. Every single thing about this car is original paint, original interior, original engine, 55,000 original miles. You really don't see them like this anymore.
No, you don't.
Right? It's really hard to find a car like this, especially this clean. So I started talking to the gentleman. I told him I loved the car. He was getting older. It was getting hard for him to not only maintain the car, and he was also an old school hot rod guy, so he didn't like the original 216. So he said, you know what? He kind of got a kick out of a young guy like me liking these types of cars, and he was gracious enough to sell it to me, even though it wasn't for sale. And I got it about 2 months ago, and I just started kind of doing my thing to it, right? So I lowered it 4 inches in the back, cut a coil and a half up front, right? Slammed it down, put those brand new 560 15-inch white walls on there, right? Like to keep it really traditional, right? Where I grew up, you know, I learned from some old school cats that, you know, been doing it since the 70s, the 80s, and they've been doing it the right way for a very long time. And I've just always learned that way. And I know in Miami they love the LS motors and the V8s, and I'm a straight six guy, right? Just keep it real simple, right? Split the manifold, either straight pipes or two 12-inch glass packs all the way back. Be able to wrap pipes down the street, right? And low and slow. It's not about where I come from. It's about being seen, right? Not flying by people.
There's not too many videos out there of people doing what we like to do. This, you know, splitting the pipes, straight piping, lowering them. And that's something that I really want to take my time in the video and show it to the viewers, because I know there's not that many videos out there. You guys know that I myself have a 1950 with a 235, and something that I've been wanting to do, and I have been mentioning that in the videos for a couple of times, is that I want to straight pipe it. But I haven't been able to find a video that shows exactly what I need to see in order for me to make up my mind and actually do this modification. Yeah. So can we open the hood and see how you did it?
Absolutely. So there's a couple ways to do this. Some guys will actually, it's a lost art, but they actually split the original manifolds on these cars. They cut them and weld like an elbow on it. But this car actually, the easiest way, you know, nowadays to do that is to add Fenton headers. Mm-hmm. So what I did is I took off the original manifold, put these Fenton headers on here, right? Just block them off. Some guys actually on these, what they'll do, this right here, they actually have a heat riser for the carburetor, because these carburetors usually have heat, but we're in Florida, we don't have to worry about that, right? So
it's okay if you block it?
Yeah, it's too hot out here, so you won't have, you know, they say you lose a little bit of performance, but you know, we're in Florida, it's real hot out here.
Yeah.
This is all original 6-volt car, nothing, original carburetor, W1 carburetor, original generator.
Yeah, many people replace that by an alternator.
Yeah.
Or and there's even companies that sell you a generator, an alternator that looks like a generator.
Yep, and I'll show you, I have one of those on the 51 when we get there. But this, I kept it 6-volt, you know, it starts right up, it runs just fine. So I didn't feel like, you know, what's the purpose?
Exactly.
You know, it's all still a points car. All my cars, I keep it real simple, points. And I know you kind of briefly looked at the interior too, didn't change much in here. Still got the original interior all the way around. Even the original Chevy rubber floor mats there.
Oh, that's right. So the floor mat is not
It's not carpet. It's all rubber.
Wow. You know that I was looking the other day,
and you can see here how clean the interior is. I just keep it protected. All original interior.
And look, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is exactly what I want to show you. I purchased a 1950 Fleetline not too long ago, and one of the things that I have in mind on my list of doing is replacing the carpet. The carpet is super dirty and I don't like it. And when I went online, one of the options that I saw for carpets was not an actual carpet, it was rubber. And I was wondering, well, how does it look? And this is exactly how it looks, and this is why I want to be able to take my time and show you every single detail about this car, because I know there's many of us that like these cars, and many of us have questions. Well, there's not that many of us in Miami with this type of cars, and when I see one like this clean, I want to take my time and film it.
Yeah. So, I mean, from there, when I got it, it was a little plain, and I started kind of adding some simple accessories. I don't like to overdo it when it comes to accessories. So I took my time and actually found these vent shades right here, real simple but beautiful. I love those things right there.
How much were those?
You know, I was blessed enough to get a pretty good deal on them.
I mean, because they're hard to find sometimes.
They're hard to find. I mean, you know, I got a good deal on them, but if you're looking for them, if you could find them, probably anywhere from, you know, $500 to $800, depending on how clean they are.
Wow.
And I found the high bars for the front, the grill high bar, the trunk guard, the high bar.
So, and yeah,
right.
this is a very expensive accessory that a lot of people like, and it's really hard to find, and it's really hard to find them in good condition. And having them rechrome is something that, at least in Miami, you know, it's a little bit of money. As you guys can see, he not only has the grill guard, but also the license plate guard. Which the other day I was talking to a guy on one of the forums that we follow, and he was selling one. So I asked him how much for the tag guard, and he told me $350, and I was like, wow. You know, like, so all of these accessories that Matt has on these cars are expensive.
Yeah. And then I found the trunk guard there, so that's a trunk high bar. Those are pretty valuable nowadays and hard to find.
Yeah.
I guess they're not hard to find. They're just, you know, a lot of the stuff's went up in price.
Yeah.
You know, back in the days we used to get this stuff pretty inexpensive. And funny story is, you know, way back in the days, like 70s, you know, 80s, those guys used to take this stuff off. It was real simple, you know, when they were building bombs back in those days. You know, a lot of those guys that built those lowriders and the real bomb guys, like, they didn't have a lot of money, right? We didn't have a lot of money, so you know, you did what you could. You lowered it, you piped it. As long as you know, you're out riding, you're, you know, driving your shit, then that's all that mattered, you know.
And I do have to say, Matt, that you are a true old school guy. You know, to be young, you
Appreciate
know,
that.
almost pretty much the same age. And something that I saw you doing was removing something from the trunk, and I was like, what is that? You know, and I started laughing because, you know, that's something that we don't see here in Miami, and it's only done by someone with his background from LA, which I love, and there's nothing wrong with it, but people just don't do these things no more. And this is what old school, this is the true meaning of old school.
Yeah. So, you know, I put 4-inch blocks on it. It wasn't really as low as I wanted for the time being until, you know, well, now it is, right? But until I, you know, actually take the next step, you know, what I like to do is maybe, you know, de-arch the springs or whatever the fact may be. But just for the time being, to save me time, you know, I got this brick in here.
And it is actually a brick,
yeah,
from like
so
patio or yard.
Up, it's a straight up, just heaviest. It's the heaviest paver that I could find. I just put it in there to bring me a little lower. And like I said, back in the day, they didn't have much money, you know, so they lowered them as any way they could, you know, and that's one of the ways you do it.
I remember stories of people, you know, when I was a kid, telling me that they would put sandbags in the trunk to make them low. Yeah. And that's, to me, it was something that blew my mind, because it's something that I'm not used to seeing. But this is exactly the type of thing that I like to film.
Yeah, real traditional. And the cool thing is, like, even if you can see in here, everything's original. That spare has never been put on the car there. That's the original spare from the factory. Right, that's the original rubber floor mat in there. That jack's never come out of there too. It's still got the springs attached. You know, all this. So it's really cool, man. It's hard to see them like this.
I see that you also have the shades in the back.
Yeah, I put those on. I thought they'd look pretty cool. You know, it's just a little fun thing. They're easy to find on eBay.
And something
that's the only thing that's not an original accessory on the car.
Many of you guys don't know, but I hope, I'm guessing some of you guys don't know, because I didn't know when I started doing this type of videos, is that the back window on the Fleetlines go down, which is nice. It's something really nice.
Yeah. Because on your car, they slide, right?
Yeah, they slide back.
Yeah, these go down about halfway down, which is nice. And something about, like I said, I fell in love with Fleetlines when I was a kid, and just something about it, man. It's beautiful. You know, so.
And I feel the passion for these cars when you know, now making this video with him, also before I grabbed the camera and started filming, and this is exactly what I like to see, you know, that passion in these cars, and that's what drives me, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what drives him. And we have pretty much the same taste, even though we come from different backgrounds. He comes from LA, I come from Cuba. You know, it's what we like, and that's what has united us.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. It ends up being a family, you know. It's like we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in these cars, and it's like, you know, you go to war for this passion. And it's funny, people talk about, like, oh, I like lowriders, but, you know, like, you're a lowrider. It's not. It's a different thing than just, hey, let's drive a lowrider. Like, you are a lowrider, right? It's a way of life. It's the way you carry yourself. It's the work you put in. You know, so that's huge. I'm gonna have to fight over the train now, but hopefully it goes by quick. But that's the thing. It's like it's in your blood.
Yep.
You know, all the blood, sweat, and tears. It's like a family. People that are into this.
Matt, and so obviously you guys saw me driving the 51. Not only you have the 49, but about a week ago you purchased the 51.
Yes.
Talk to me about that one.
Yeah, very similar situation. I'm part of a vintage Chevy Club of America, and before I found the 49, I had put an ad up that I was looking for a Fleetline on the website. I didn't get any hits for probably 6 months, and then randomly I was sitting at work and I got an email from a guy, and he's like, "Hey, are you still looking for a Fleetline?" And I said, "I guess." I mean, I'm always looking. And he says, "Hey, I have one." And
you can never have too many Fleetlines.
You can never have too many Fleetlines. It's almost like a fever, and that's the only cure, right? Like one of my mentors always said, it's like, hey, you know, one of my mentors was a guy named Mike Pickle, and I was blessed to know the guy. He's an amazing dude. He's a lowrider artist. If you don't know who he is, look him up. It's pretty cool. And he always says the only cure for Fleetline fever is having a Fleetline. And ain't that the truth? But long story short, he emailed me. He's like, "Hey, I have one of those cars." And now it's pretty sad story, just like this one. You know, the gentleman that owned it passed away. Well, the guy that built this car was an older gentleman. He was about 80 years old. He built this car as like his last hoorah, right? He was getting older. He loved the year. He loved the car, so he bought this car and built it to keep it and drive it from the ground up. So every single thing was touched on this car. Everything was removed. All the stainless trim was all straightened and polished to an immaculate show quality. All the chrome was all triple plated to an immaculate quality. Just everything was new, and they went through this car's paint. Listen, they must have block sanded and put so much work into this paint.
The paint looks beautiful.
Right, so, and the unfortunate thing was this gentleman finished his car in about 2009. And it was a pretty sad story. The gentleman built the car, finished it, just finished rebuilding the engine, just finished breaking it in, and took it out on the road for his first test drive, and he had really bad cataracts. And he was going to pull out and almost hit a car. Got scared, took the car back. So he was never able to really enjoy the car the way he wanted to, which is pretty sad. But he parked it, and you know, his son would drive him up and down the street every once in a while. So when I bought this car, even right now, it has probably less than 500 miles on the rebuilt engine.
Wow.
They pulled the original. This was an original Power Glide car. The old man liked to three on the tree, and it actually gives it more horsepower. As we all know, the old Power Glide transmissions are kind of dogs. You know, it pretty much ends up being a single speed, and you know, they don't really move too much. So he ended up taking a 1956 Chevy truck 235 and completely rebuilt it. Rebuilt the transmission, and then the cool part is you know, they kept the Power Glide rear end in there, right?
So you're able to cruise a higher speed.
Yep, so it's all open drive, right?
Oh, so it is an open drive?
Well, I'm sorry, it's closed drive, but it has the lower gears in it, so it's actually easier to cruise on the highway.
Yes.
Right, with the Power Glide rear end.
Let's show them the engine.
And they even, you know, he really spent the time. He was a VCCA member too, so he did everything to spec. So, I mean, obviously besides the 235 engine, but going back to what we talked about over by the 49, he you know, changed it all to 12 volt. He added the generator type alternator there, right? And I was really blessed that he actually put, he already had Fenton Headers on it, already had the manifold split. It's still an original points car. The cool thing is the car did come with a Petronic system, so I don't know, I might put it in. It just runs really good now, so I don't know if I'll have to even go down that road. I do like to have the Petronic system sometimes.
The engine looks super clean, man.
Yeah, he did every single thing on this car. And then unfortunately, he completely went blind.
Wow. And
just last August, he ended up passing away, unfortunately. And the family contacted me, and he's like, "Hey, I wanted to go to somebody
that's going to take care of the car,
take care of it, you know." And they contacted me. So last weekend, I went out to Alabama, and I went and seen the car, and I was blown away. I was blown away at the work they put into it. I was blown away at how clean it is. Even down to the interior, all is to spec, and it's all Hampton coach, which if you know what that is, it's a big deal to have Hampton coach interior. From my understanding, I don't even think the company's in business anymore. I mean, even the dashboard there was probably cut and buffed, and look at the chrome on the dashboard.
It's a beautiful car, man. It really is a beautiful car.
You know, so I'm blessed to have this too. Now, as you can tell, it's all stock height right now. It hasn't got the treatment yet, right? This one's obviously, you know, all said and done, gonna be slammed. I don't know what I'm gonna do on the wheels yet. You know, if you know low riding, it's all about the wheels, right? They obviously have to be slammed, and you gotta find the right wheels, right? Whether I run 560s on this again, I might go, you know, thin white walls with crossbars, which is a real old school, you know, beautiful style, right? You're in like a 1-inch white wall with 560s, same tires over there, but with the 1-inch white wall.
I know many of you guys are eager for us to start the cars and for you guys to listen to the exhaust. One thing that I want to mention is that one of them has glass pack, the other one doesn't.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that, because I know there's people that are going to have questions about what type of pipe width to use and glass pack, and what is the difference and all of that, like myself, obviously.
Yeah. So out of a necessity, believe it or not, I'll start here since we're here. Out of necessity, you know, this was already split. The older gentleman that did this exhaust, when he built the car, he actually put 2-inch pipe on it. I'm
gonna try to go under so you guys can see. Well, I'm gonna do that while you talk.
Yeah, so the gentleman, you know, had put 2-inch exhaust on here, which is really traditional, right? Traditionally, what I like to run is like 1 3/4 pipe with two 12-inch glass packs. But out of necessity, unfortunately, I went to my muffler shop on just recently last week, and he didn't have enough 1 3/4 pipe to do this until the week after. I'm like, you know what? Listen, take those old man mufflers off, right? Because he had 2 mufflers, it was super quiet. I said, just throw a straight on there for a minute. So I kept a 2-inch when I just went straight pipe, right? So just deleted the muffler, put 1 extra piece of pipe in there. And good news with 2-inch pipe, right, gives a little bit of better performance, you know? And actually, believe it or not, I like the way it sounds.
It sounds beautiful.
So with the 2-inch pipe straight, it sounds real good. It's not too, you know, with the 1 3/4, it's kind of, you know, it doesn't have as much, you know, horsepower. That's why I like to run the 12-inch glass packs. But it ended up sounding really good. So that's the first time I've done 2-inch all the way back straight pipe, and I'm liking it so far. This guy, 49, I went real traditional, right? 1 3/4 with 2 12-inch glass packs. That's how I was taught, right? That's what a lot of the old school guys run. Good. It has a nice sound to it, but not only does it have a nice sound, it gives it good performance. You know, some guys run the, you know, even down to 1.5 inch straights. Sounds real loud, but I still like a little bit of a deeper tone. I still like that, you know, you don't want to get rid of the performance too, so you still have good performance.
Well, guys, I think we covered pretty much everything. I'm pretty sure that we still have unanswered questions to you guys. If you like Fleetlines, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like Fleetlines, I gave you what you guys liked. I'm in heaven right now, to be honest with you. Man, again, thank you so much, man.
And if anybody's, listen, we all are a family out there. Anybody has any questions, I'm sure William will put my information for my Instagram, and please reach out with any questions, or, you know, we got to each one teach one. So
exactly,
we all do this for the love of it, or if anybody's interested in it, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, and that's before I forget, that's another thing that I was mentioning when I was coming over here. You were telling me that most likely you're not gonna keep both.
No,
So,
I gotta. That's it. That's the hardest part of this, right? I gotta figure out which one I gotta keep, right? In a perfect world, I'd want to keep both, and I got lucky because they're both black, which is, in my opinion, one of the best colors, you know. But now I gotta get rid of one. So I don't know if anybody's interested, or, you know, somebody's interested in one of them. I'm open for offers. You know, I'm also not in a rush either, because I'm gonna enjoy them. And
exactly.
as you know, this one, obviously, as I do stuff to it, the price goes up. But if anybody's interested, please don't hesitate to reach out. And
we're gonna give you exactly what you guys came to this video for.
so that's what it sounds like, the 2-inch straights, and I like it. It's the first time I've done that setup, and I'll let you hear the 49 too. Now the thing is, actually another little trick back in the day, or if you have a muffler shop near you, it takes a minute sometimes for if you have brand new glass packs to break them in, right? So sometimes if you go to a muffler shop, sometimes they even have used ones, right? So you can even ask if you have any used ones, if they chopped them off. Say, hey, you have any used 12-inch glass packs?
Are those things expensive?
Nah, you can find them online. Most muffler shops do have them. There's a couple different kinds. There's like, you know, I think there's like a 3-inch, and there's like a 4-inch style. I'm not 100% sure, but they have different types. I'll start this one up. And you can see, I mean, all 6 is, this is still 6 volt, and it starts right up. Right, still deep, but you know, once the glass packs break up a little bit, it gets a little louder, right? But
Matt, if you were to do it again, what will you do? Will you do straight pipe like the 51 with no glass pack, or will you go with this one with glass pack?
well, here's the cool thing about, okay, I'm gonna give you the pros and cons because it's really your decision, right? So you know, obviously with the 1 3/4, 2 12-inch glass packs, very traditional. You know, that's what I've always ran on all my cars. Like I said, the 2-inch straights is the first time I've ever done that. Good thing with this though, if you want it to quiet down a little bit, right, you can make it loud if you want. If you want it to be a little bit more quiet, you just kind of, you know, obviously, you know, don't wind it up as much, might quiet it down a little bit, but it's still loud if you want it, right? Takes a minute for the glass packs to break in. This guy, it's just louder, you know. Right now I'm digging the 2-inch straight right now. I think it sounds good. I'm okay with the loud, you know, so it's really just preference.
Guys, we're gonna go ahead and end the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like. Very long video, but very informative. And again, we're giving you what you guys like, and I'm enjoying it because this is exactly what I like. That's why I'd rather have a long video of what I like than short, leaving a lot of things out. Give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow Matt. I'm gonna put in his Instagram right on the screen, right here. And also give me a follow at Generation Oscar.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you too for doing this. I appreciate it.
Always, man.
All right, brother.
All right, guys, now it's my time to drive the 49 back to Matt's house. Listen, I need to get me one of this. Let me know in the comment section what this is called. Super comfortable to turn, especially with this big steering wheels. Yeah, definitely the 51 sounds louder than this one. It's straight pipe, and this one has a glass pack. So if I was to do it on my car, I would do a straight pipe all the way. I wouldn't do a glass pack. When was the last time that you saw 2 Fleetlines driving together in the middle of the road? It doesn't get any better than this.